Oh, good. We are okay, cool. All right, awesome. We did it. Okay. All right. First things first. So let's talk about the ups and downs of Astro Bot, shall we? There's not going to be a lot of downs. I'll spoil that right now. I am not super crazy about. Well, let me start that over. 3D platformers are not among my top 5 favorite genres. I enjoy them when I play them, but I haven't ever really gotten into 3D platformers the way that a lot of people I know have, that are really into Banjo-Kazooie or Spyro or Mario, the later Mario games or whatever. I just am not of that ilk. I enjoy them. They're just not... I know a lot of people that go crazy for them, and I'm just not one of those people. That being said, so because of that, when I come to my 529 ranked games that I've beaten over the course of the last 5 years almost, there's only a few 3D platformers even on it. There's a lot of 3D platformer franchises that I have completely disregarded so far. They're on my list, you know, but a lot of them are, but I haven't gotten to most of them yet because I don't get as excited about them as a lot of people do. So because of that, there just aren't a lot on my list. So the question, well, let's move on to this from here. This game is absolutely incredible. It is an incredible game. Just from a technical standpoint, the game looks perfect. It sounds perfect. All the stuff with the DualSense controller is perfect. The way that the world that the game builds with the graphics and some of the just the way that the sound effects work with the DualSense controller, like some of like the crunchier stuff in the game, like the metal on metal sound and feel that you get, like all that stuff is so on point. And it was in Astro's Playroom too, but this is just like Astro's Playroom but blown into a full ass AAA game, right? And that's what it is. This is not a tech demo. This is not just a demonstration of what the DualSense controller can do or what the PS5 is capable of graphically. This is a full-on 3D platformer that rivals the best 3D platformers, at least from my experience. I have played a few. I've played the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, the revamped, the remasters. I can't remember what the name is. I played Super Mario Odyssey, Bowser's Fury, and there's a few other recent ones that I've played. And I mean, this is like, if it's not better, it's up there, right? I have this belief system about games like this where that Mario is just the absolute gold standard. Obviously, I'm not alone in that. But like when I go back and play Mario games, they're just a cut above everything else. And from what I have played a couple of more recent Mario games like Odyssey and Bowser's Fury, and from what I can see and from everything I've heard, that remains true. That nobody really touches Mario. It's in a league of its own when it comes to creativity and just the gameplay. It's always bug free. It's operating on just a higher level than any platformer in existence. Even the other ones from Nintendo. It's on a whole nother level. And I don't know that that's true anymore. I think this game is it. You know what? It really felt like what I've heard some of the more recent Mario games are like. And of course, I played Odyssey, where it's like it's so creative that it's almost unbelievable how many ideas they've packed into a game. This is like that, and one of the things that I found liking the most about this game as I was playing it is that there were times that I would realize that I've had an idiot grin on my face for like the last 20 minutes. I'd just be playing the game and it's so fucking charming that I cannot help. I'll realize I have this dumb smile on my face and I've had it for the last half hour because of how awesome all the ideas are in the game. And how fun and funny and cute and ridiculous and just charming everything in this game is. And it's so it meshes so well with the actual core gameplay. It's like I'm in a theme park playing this game. It's so, like, every level you warp in and you're like, there's so much to do. I remember thinking that a lot playing Odyssey as well, Mario Odyssey. And it's that same kind of feeling where it's like, what do you want to get into first? It's like when you walk into Six Flags for the first time, it's like, well, we could go to this roller coaster first, or we could go to this part of the theme park. Who knows, man? We got the whole day. It's that feeling, like every time you start a level. Every time. There's not a level in this game that's like not as imaginative as it. They're all operating at god tier levels of creativity, and I almost don't understand, because yeah, Sony has a lot of great first party games, don't get me wrong. There are a ton of great first party Sony games, you know, when you think about The Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn and Ghost of Tsushima and you know, all God of War, and the list goes on, right? There's a ton of incredible first party Sony games, but there aren't any that are just 3D platformers. I mean, unless you count Astro's Playroom, but that's not really a full video game. So I want to know who was working on this. Did they like skim some people from Nintendo or something? Because it's got that level of polish, that Nintendo level of polish. There wasn't a bug one in this game. It works like it is a work of art. How well it is put together is absolutely, and there's a lot going on. It's not just some basic video game with all the stuff with the controller and all the there's different abilities in every single level and different unique mechanics in every single level, bosses, mini bosses, regular enemies that all operate differently. There's a lot that could go, there was a ton that could go wrong with this game, a ton, and nothing went wrong. It is perfectly put together, and it is so, especially if you're into the nostalgia thing, which anyone that's over 30 at least, maybe even over 25, is going to pick up on a lot of the references that are going on in this game. It is so satisfying. It's so satisfying. Now, I've been raving for a good while now, so you might be thinking, oh, Nick, is this a top 20 game? No, it's not a top 20 game. I'm not going to rank this in the top 20 all time, or probably even the top 50 all time, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the day, your average Joe Souls-like, just because of my preferences and what I enjoy playing, is still going to rank higher than... Because your average Souls-like still ends up in the top 100 a lot of the time for me. And so when you get into the top 50, now you're talking about the really good Souls-likes. You're talking about the really transcendent games like the later God of Wars and the Ghost of Tsushimas and the Horizon Zero Dawns and yada yada yada. And this game doesn't do it for me in the way that some of my favorite genres do. But I have to wonder, and I haven't looked at my list yet. But the number one question I was asking myself when I was playing this is this my favorite 3D platformer that I've ever played? And I don't know that the answer is yes, but if I had to guess right now, I'd say that it is, because the only other one that I can think of that's like was really impressed me was Odyssey and Crash 4. And I feel like I might have liked this better than both of those. I don't know for sure, because I really did love both of those games. But I mean, the fact that a game like this could potentially knock off a recent Mario game is unheard of. It's baffling. It doesn't really make sense that Sony was able to put something so perfect together. I haven't read any of the reviews for this game yet. I have to assume that they're glowing. I'm going to as soon as I write my own review, but I have a rule that I won't read any until I write my own review, which I'm going to do here in a minute. And then I'll check Metacritic and see how it's doing, but I have to assume it's done well. I mean, it's so polished. I can't believe how polished this game is. Anyway, I'll shut up about it. Do I have any critiques? No, I don't have any critiques. There is nothing this game that I can think of that this game could have done better. You know what? Actually, there was one thing. It's a very specific nitpick, but there are secret levels in this game. And when you find it's like in Super Mario World, when you find like the Star Road level or whatever, it just completely warps you out of the level. But a big part of the levels in this game are finding all of the bots. And so if that happens, you don't want to pass up the opportunity to unlock that level, right? But so you have to take it. But then if you want to go back and pick up the rest of the bots, you can't go to a point in the middle of the level, even if you've already been there. You have to start the whole level over. And so I had to do that a couple of times, and I found that to be mildly annoying. I thought it would be nice if you've been in the level, there should be a mechanic in place where you can choose which checkpoint you want to go back to, or I don't know, maybe that would have been a little bit tedious, because then what, are you looking at a map, or are you looking at a list of checkpoints? How easy would that be to understand? So I'm not sure how easily that would have been done, but from a user experience level, just a high level thing, that was mildly annoying. But honestly, the pants were charmed off me so hard at that point in the game, I didn't really care. I mean, most people aren't going to care, right? They're just, oh, I'll just play through the level again. Sure, even if you picked up every collectible, you know, it's so much fun to play through the levels. Who cares, right? That is the only nitpick that I can possibly think of. And it is such a specific, minor nitpick that it just pales in comparison to all the good things in this game. So, I mean, I'm absolutely blown away at whoever did this game. Please make more games like this. They're gonna have to. You're gonna have to make more 3D platformers like this, because people are gonna eat this shit up. People are gonna love this game. All right, that's it. Last couple of things. The bottom center of the screen. I guess it's more bottom right now. We'll just say the bottom. The bottom of the screen says that we have beaten 82 games in 2024. Sorry, this is all new to me. And 529 since we started doing this in 2020. Those numbers are now lying to you. We've now beaten 83 games in 2024 and 530 since we started doing this in 2020. Let's go. All right, last order of business. I know there's still a lot of meat on this bone. We didn't do every level. There's a lot of collectibles we haven't picked up, but we don't do that here. So the last order of business is Astro Bot. I have been blown away by you, and I really appreciate all the people that came together to put you together. But we are now going to delete you from our console and never play you again. Bye. Love you. Appreciate ya. You were the best.